Hello, this is the Watchdog, and welcome back to Fun with Watches. If watches weren't fun, you'd only need one. Today we're going to review the Muniti 9005G small second chronograph. Let's start with the wrist check. I just finished my morning workout somewhere in one of my workout watches, the Casio W800HM. And Greg was wearing my Paul Aries OM05. I just unboxed that, so if you haven't seen the unboxing video, be sure to watch it. Grogu said that Dan Henry and Henry Archer are going to collaborate on a new watch that is an homage to the Tag Heuer Monaco. They're going to call it the Henry Squared. All right, let's take a look at the watch. It comes in this box, and there's not much to it. And here's the watch. This is the first Muniti on my channel, and it just might be the last, as I don't see any other Munitis on AliExpress at this time. This is a sub $20 small second chronograph in a Royal Oak style case with a silicone strap that really doesn't look too bad for the money and is comfortable to wear. Under $20 watches are not going to be made of stainless steel, and this is indeed an alloy with a mineral glass crystal. There are a whopping 10 different colorways, including one case in black and one case in rose gold. If you want the black or rose gold with a different strap, it looks like it is compatible with your typical Royal Oak strap sold on AliExpress. Or you could just buy another one of these Munitis and swap straps. The watch is 41.5 millimeters if you measure at the flats of the bezel, 50.8 millimeters lug to lug, is 12.5 millimeters thick. Lug width does not apply, but it's 28 millimeters where the strap meets the case, and it tapers down to 20 millimeters at the buckle, and it weighs 92 grams on the supplied silicone strap. The bezel is a 12-sided dodecagon. A Royal Oak, the watch that it's homaging, is an octagon, so that's different. But if you look at there, though, you only have 8 screws and not 12. But these screws, though, they're fake. They're just indents in the bezel. They're not actual screws. You don't expect real screws on a sub $20 watch, that's for sure. And then we have the dial. The dial has a nice waffle pattern. I kind of like the dial. I think they did a pretty good job with it considering the price of this watch. Then we have applied lume indices with a double baton at the 12. And then we have stick hands or fence post hands, and they're lumed. And the subdial hands are not lumed, and they're yellow, and so you can see them pretty good. And then you have this little 15-minute ascension phase. I don't know what else to call it. I know this is not a dive watch, but 15 minutes is a different color, and it's yellow, and I think that's a pretty good accent. That's one of the reasons why I chose this colorway. Then you have the Muniti name up top. Then you have the minute counters on the chapter ring. Then you have a date at the 4:30. A lot of people don't like dates at the 4:30. I'm perfectly fine with them. I'd rather have a date than no date. Only on a rare exception where the date just totally ruins the look of the watch, and this is not one of those watches where you would ruin the looks. This is a small second chronograph. Let me get the hour hand out of the way. And so basically the bottom subdial is your chronograph hand. Just press the top pusher and it starts ticking. Press it again to stop it. Press the bottom to rewind. The left subdial is your chronograph minute counter, and the right subdial is just a 24-hour hand. And so there are no sub-seconds. So this chronograph isn't very useful. You could use it to time your macaroni and cheese, but you wouldn't use it for actual timing races and track and field events and stuff like that. Maybe your morning workout would be just fine, but that's about it. And as you can see, the small second hand is out of alignment, but you can line those up on these watches. I just don't want to go through the hassle. Then we have the crown. The crown is a hexagon, which is a nice touch. A lot of the Royal Oak homages in this price range don't have a hexagon crown, so that's a good touch. Unfortunately, though, the crown action is really loosey-goosey, and when you go to set it, you get a minute hand jump. It wasn't very bad that time, but sometimes they're really bad. Of course, if you hold the crown when you push it in, you can minimize the jump, but you still get a little. So setting it accurately is a pain. That's just one of the features of these really cheap quartz watches, and I'm not a fan of that feature. Then we have the crystal. It's just a flat mineral glass. You're not going to get sapphire at this price, and it does a good enough job. I don't see a ton of reflection. Of course, you're not going to get AR coating in this price, but it's glass, so you don't really need it anyway. Then we have the case. The case is a coated alloy. This is not steel. You're not going to get steel at this price. We have some pretty significant crown guards here, so the crown's very protected. And these lug connectors here, they're part of the case. They're not actually articulating individual things. They're just designed to look like they're individual, but they are not. Then we have the case back. The case back is a press-on. It says Muniti stainless steel back. When it says stainless steel back, that's a pretty good tell that the rest of the watch is not. Then it says water resistant, which means you only get your 30 meters, no more. And it says made in China. And then it gives the model number. When I did the unboxing video, I looked at the ad and the model number was 9001, but this one says 9005. So I don't know if they have a different model per colorway or if they just got it wrong in the ad. Then underneath the case back is a movement of unknown origin. I would assume it's a PE90. That seems to be fairly common for these sub $20 chronographs with the small second. But I don't know. I didn't really feel like popping the case, and I don't think anybody buying this watch really cares. Then we have the strap. The strap is silicone, but it's a pretty good silicone. It's not all squishy. It has some pretty good feel to it. It feels more like plastic or resin than silicone, really. But it says silicone in the ad. And it is slick enough where I would consider it to be silicone, so I don't think they're lying there. And then we have two keepers, one fixed with these little nibs on there. These nibs never work very well, but this one isn't too bad. And the other one's fully floating. And then this is a 28 millimeter strap. So I'm assuming it's compatible with Royal Oak 28 millimeter straps, but I don't know that for a fact. I don't have one, and I didn't want to order one just to find out. So buy a 28 millimeter Royal Oak strap at your own risk. And then we have the buckle. The buckle's fine. It does the job. It's not signed. And of course, the finish doesn't match the case, but it does the job. I've seen worse buckles on these cheap watches. Here's the watch on my 7.5-inch wrist. It wears nice. It sits nice and flat. It's comfortable. It's not a very heavy watch, of course. And if you look at the notches, I'm right in the middle. I got 3 in and 3 out. So 8 1/4 and maybe 6 3/4. Otherwise, you'll be cutting notches in the strap or getting a new one. But I don't think it looks too bad considering the price. I mean, this is a sub $20 watch. Here we are in the loom room. Sub $20 chronographs are not going to have good loom, but we'll go ahead and test it anyway. As we speed up the time, the indices fade immediately. The hands are much better, but still not good, as they are fading rather fast. This is typical sub $20 watch lume. What do I like about this watch? Well, I think it looks and wears pretty good for the money. Plus, there's a ton of colorways, so you're bound to find one that you like. I like this sturdy silicone strap. I think they did a good job with it. It doesn't feel real cheap, and I think it will last. And I do like this waffle dial. And I do like the fact it has a hexagon crown, which is a nice touch. What are my grapes and groans? Well, it's a small second chrono. They're not very useful. Sometimes when you pull the crown, it won't hack. I didn't mention that earlier. But see, I just pulled the crown. It didn't hack. And so I don't know if the stem's too short or what. But I don't want to pull it really hard because I did that with that one major bullhead and I ended up pulling the crown off. So, but once again, total accuracy isn't possible anyway with the loose crown action, so setting it's not really that important. And this case metal just feels kind of cheap. Do I recommend this watch? Yes, it's really not a bad watch for the money, and there are enough colors you're bound to find one to suit you. I'm hoping the crown issue I was having was just mine. Maybe they just had a little short stem on this one. Well, thank you for watching my review of the Muniti 9005G, and I will be back. I have an unboxing video for you. I'm kind of excited about it. I'm going to go do that one right now. Be sure and like and subscribe to my channel. Bye.